Well, the more I get to know Lorelai Gilmore, the more I come to know myself. And let me just say, I hate it here. 2025, I'm going to need to change my entire personality because I cannot and will not go down like that. Hey, I'm Bridgette and I'm back. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to this community, this Gilmore gang, for riding with me in 2024. You really did make my year. Let's get straight into the messy recap. If you're out on the road. So Suki asked out Jackson and arranged a date for them, and Jackson returned the favour by having his annoying cousin Rune come on the date too. Suki retrospectively asked Lorelai to go on the double date, and Lorelai had no choice but to endure Rune's rudeness. Lane got Rory to ask Dean to ask his friend Todd out for her, but Mrs. Kim is strict, so she lied and said she was hanging out with Rory. They ended up in the movie theatre where Lane had a full-on conversation and Todd ended up being a mute and a bit gormless. Lorelai suggested the adults continue their date at Luke's, and Rune got so bored he left. Meanwhile, Luke was plucking up the courage to finally ask out Lorelai, but Mrs. Kim came bursting in looking for Lane. Lane got grounded, but Todd wasn't worth all of that. Jackson and Suki ended up having a nice day, and Luke was left without having the courage to ask Lorelai out.
And that's what you missed on
Gilmore Girls. So Lorelai's having an I have nothing to wear moment, and Rory, being that she has no style, is unempathetic. And yes, Rory, a red and black zebra print top can be considered a classic. So Lorelai's trying to find clothes to donate to this Rummage sale that Stars Hollow's having, but she doesn't know what she should donate because everything she owns is bagging. Guilty! So Rory's downstairs sorting through clothes with Lane, and then Luke comes over to donate stuff because obviously Luke is in love with Lorelai. Lorelai eventually comes down and she offers them cheese as a snack. Just cheese. No crackers, just cheese. She doesn't even unwrap the cheese, nor get a plate, nor a knife in which to cut the cheese. She just flings a packet of cheese at Lane and calls it a day. God, Luke and Lorelai look so damn good together. He would, of course, look better with me. I've been really trying. Guess who's back? Back again. Oh, Taylor. To be fair, he does come in to donate a bunch of cookware, but Taylor is tailoring and he needs to write an instruction manual to go with his donation. And at this point, it's like, keep the crockery. So obviously Lorelai's meant to be donating stuff, but she does pick up this cute jacket thing from the donation pile, and
I love it.
I have had to go on a clothing ban. I need to be one of those people that's like one in, one out, but it just could never be me. Anyway, Suki comes in and she looks so cute. She has 4 tickets to see the Bangles in New York. And so she invites Lorelai, Rory, and Lane. And honestly, my little heart just burst. God, I love my friends, but I don't know if they're on a Suki level. JK, my best friend Maggie watches these videos, and if she's seeing this, Maggie is the kind of friend that would help me bury a body, but the rest of you need to step it up. For real. Guess who's back again? It's Chilton, motherfuckers. So there's a new teacher in town. Was Max fired? Shame. To be fair, she seems kind of dry, but I don't even mind. We're at Chilton. That's all that matters. Obviously, Tristan is there because he always is. He is staring down Rory hard. And even the teacher's like, sir, you good? Quickly. This girl sitting behind him. Come on, Chilton. Yes, bandana, I see you. Anyway, the teacher calls out Tristan for staring at Rory, and it's like,
are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Shame. So the teacher wants them to form a debate team for class. She puts Rory, Paris, Louise, and Madeline in one group. On the upside, we finally learn who Madeline is. It's the one with the black hair, which means that the other one is Louise. So the girls are trying to look for a place where they can study. And Paris is like, my house is out. My mum's been redecorating since the divorce. And the other girls are like, you can't come to mine. So Rory offers up her house. These ungrateful bitches are like, ew, it's so far. I don't do the bus. Ew. They finally agree to Rory's house. Tristan comes over and does that really annoying teenage boy thing of pretending that he doesn't fancy Rory, even though we just know that he was staring at her for the entirety of the class. And instead, he flirts with Paris. And for all of Paris's brains, she is flattered.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this.
So even though in the last episode, Lane was grounded for lying to Mrs. Kim, she is gearing up to do the exact same thing again. Girl, what? You already know that Mrs. Kim is not about that life. She wants them to lie to Mrs. Kim about going to the concert and instead tell Mrs. Kim that they're going to a play. So they corner Mrs. Kim and Lane asks her about going to this play. And Mrs. Kim is like,
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
and for a smart girl, Lane really hasn't thought this through. The good news is, however, Rory is still being a very decent friend and going along with all of Lane's shenanigans, so she may just come up in the character analysis chart, which I know is the most important thing. So Luke is still the best in town. You know how he hates community things, community spirit, and generally anything that doesn't involve him minding his business? Well, he puts the charity Rummage sale outside his diner because obviously Lorelai asked him to, and he's in love with Lorelai. Now, I should be jealous, but honestly, if you love someone, let them go. I am actually annoying. Okay, I spoke too soon. Lorelai comes in wearing the most insane ensemble, although I actually really love the hat. And Luke starts freaking out and he's like, take off that jumper, that is not yours. Now, sorry sir, but Lorelai did find that item dropped at her own house, so she really can do what she wants. But Luke is not to be argued with at this point.
Find something and you take it, is that it?
No, I paid for it.
So that makes it all right.
It makes it legal. What is the matter with you?
Nothing. Nothing's the matter.
He is acting insane. And to be honest, it's about time because I'm running out of words to express how great this man is. So we don't want him to be one-dimensional after all. Luke's still king, don't get it twisted. So the Rummage sale is underway and Lorelai's house is looking a hot mess. Because there's so much mess, Suki actually ends up stacking it.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Miss I should be in jail, Patty. I really hope this bitch was in jail. Anyway, she's come over with some drums to donate. Okay, girl. Lane ended up telling Mrs. Kim the truth about the concert, and needless to say, she ain't going. So Miss Patty picks up that sweatshirt jacket thing that Luke freaked out about and is like,
I bet this was Rachel's.
now, I know the town is small, but really? You are trying to tell me that you remember an item of clothing worn by a bitch?
Rachel's?
Rachel? Who's Rachel?
Rachel was Luke's very serious girlfriend.
Also, apparently Lorelai knew nothing about this girlfriend, which is bizarre considering how small the town is. You're telling me she never ran into this girl in Stars Hollow once, in the diner, outside the diner, at the post office? But I guess we got to suspend our disbelief. Lorelai shooketh at the thought that Luke ever had a girlfriend. And it's like, why? He's hot, runs his own business, minds his own business, can cook. Why can't she see what the rest of us can see? So Paris pulls up to the Gilmore Girls house in her convertible.
Is that my bestie in a tessie?
And one thing about it, we did not grow up with money, but if there is one thing my mum instilled in me is you do not let people come to your home with it looking like a crack den.
The ghetto. The ghetto.
Now, I know Lorelai is doing a charitable thing, but today is not the day for charity, okay? The Chilton girls are pulling up. So instead of just leaving the girls to it, Lorelai has to be cool mom and is all up in their business.
Hey everybody, this is my mom.
Lorelai.
This is Louise, Madeline, and Paris.
Oh, very good girl group names.
Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Anyway, so they're sitting down to do their work and Paris is a woman on a mission and quite honestly is me coded.
We have a debate to organize here, and this conversation is quickly veering towards the subject of French kissing and glitter eyeshadow, trashy or trendy. And I, for one, have no intention of being humiliated in front of the whole class because we were forced to study in the middle of a carnival and you two couldn't keep your eye on the prize. I want to win, and I'm going to win.
I hated group work at school because I felt like nobody could do it like me. Put me in a group where there's people with no opinions and I will be delegating to every single person. My grades are not slipping because you fumbled.
Oh, hell no!
I'll give you an example. Once when I was in primary school, so I was probably 6 or 7 years old, I wrote a song because I was about that life. And I decided that I wanted myself and my group of friends, my group of minions, I'm joking, my group of friends to perform it at assembly. And I gave everyone a solo line and I delegated according to what people told me their abilities were. And one girl did not rise to the occasion. She was off key. And she was also one of my best friends. And she had to go. Honestly, I think I prepared that girl for the real world. So Deborah, you're welcome, girl. So Suki and Lorelai are still busy getting things ready for the sale, and Lorelai is becoming increasingly obsessed with the thought of Luke's ex. Bitch, you didn't want that man, and now you found out that somebody once did, you're interested. Suki says that Rachel was this adventurous girl who loved to travel, loved to try new things, and that her and Luke were going to get married. Now, why am I jealous? Why am I Lorelai? I can't stand it. So the girls are studying, i.e. Paris is telling everybody what to do. And Rory tells the girls that she's going to a concert with her mum. And the girls are gagged because
I'm a cool mom.
So they're being hella invasive and asking Rory all kinds of questions about Lorelai being a teen mum. And it's like, wow. Now, do I detect that Paris may be a little envious of the relationship that Rory has with her mum? Probably. And who can blame her, considering her own mum is a demon? But Louise is obsessed with the dynamic. And Rory's like, yeah, Lorelai's my best friend. So she goes into the kitchen and Lorelai is really hyped and excited because she's like, oh my God, girl, you're making friends. And to commemorate the occasion, she sent her back in the room with some cold Pop-Tarts with an apple in the center of it, with no cutting utensils for which to cut the apple with. Her culinary skills know no bounds. Lorelai also suggests that because she's getting on so well with the girls, she should give the tickets that Suki got for them to Louise, Maddie and Paris. This bitch, she hasn't even asked Suki if that's okay.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, sure, why not? You always do.
They're not your tickets to give away. Rory accepts, and obviously cool mum has to be the one to spread the news. So the girls all head off to the Big Apple to see the bangles. Whee! Okay. So the fashion at this concert is everything. I physically need this green ensemble. So the seats are great, the vibe is great, and they are standing in front of some below average looking guys, but Madeline and Louise are hyped about that fact because they are basic. Suki and Lorelai, on the other hand, are sitting up in the gods. But you know what? It's actually really nice to just see everybody outside of Stars Hollow for a change. Lorelai starts hysterically laughing about the fact that they are in the world's worst seats. Whose fault was that? And for some reason, Suki starts laughing along with her as well. I don't really get it. I don't see what's funny, but okay. The bangles start playing and the director really said play your entire album because this sequence goes on. Is this burning an eternal flame? So Lorelai asked Suki if Luke's ex was pretty. And honestly, I cannot, and therefore I will not. I am just going to gloss over this because it is very, very irksome to me. You don't want that man, so leave him alone. I do. Suki calls it again like she has done in previous episodes, and she's like,
And you're jealous? What? You're jealous of Rachel.
And Lorelai's like, no, I'm not. And it's like,
We see each other. We see each other.
So Louise is like, look, we fancy these guys that are standing behind us. They're going to this massive party. Do you want to come? Rory, rightly so, is like, are you out of your minds? We are at a concert you didn't have to pay for and that you were taken to. So obviously not. But Maddie and Louise are just insisting. And in the end, they just leave. The absolute audacity. Paris remains unbothered. She's having the time of her life. So Rory asked Paris, what does she see in Tristan? And honestly, inquiring minds would like to know. And Paris is like, I've known him since he was a baby. He has a difficult relationship with his parents. I mean, who doesn't? Get in the queue. Rory doesn't get the Tristan thing. I don't get the Tristan thing.
So you say? That I know. So you say? That I know. So you say?
But Paris likes him. She also acknowledges that Tristan's only flirting with her to get to Rory and, we're going to get you together, Paris. So after the concert finishes, Lorelai and Suki find out that Madeline and Louise are missing. So they run around New York City to try and find them.
Hi, I'm looking for a couple of college boys who might live here or have friends who live here.
I don't talk to anybody. People annoy me.
Paris is just intent on breaking my heart.
Wonder if I was missing if my mom would come looking for me like that.
They eventually find the party and Lorelai is not here for the girls' shenanigans whatsoever. She lets them know she is not the one nor the two.
Hey, I am not even going to begin to tell you how completely insane it is to take off with anyone you don't know, or drink things that you don't know what's in them, or act like you have a clue when you don't. But so help me God, if you ever pull a stunt like this again, it will not be around my kid. Do you understand me?
The next day, they're at the charity rummage sale, and Rory is slightly annoyed that Lorelai actually acted like a responsible adult mother. And honestly, I give up. Would she prefer if she went back to kissing her teachers? Paris decides that she's going to let Rory run the debate with her. Are these two going to end up being besties? Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. So Lorelai spots Luke and he apologizes for his insane outburst earlier. And thank God, because I didn't want him to fall too far below in the character analysis chart. Lorelai gives him back the jumper and Luke takes it, and honestly, I'm more in love with him than ever. Oh, Luke. Yeah, Lorelai doesn't deserve him. So Miss Rory is going up yet again for enduring Paris's moodiness and for doing the right thing and trying to stop Louise and Maddie from being insane. Lorelai shouldn't have given away Suki's tickets, but she did it for a good reason, I guess, so she comes up a little bit. Suki was adorable in this episode and there was no Jackson, so up she goes. Paris, although trifling at the beginning of the episode, was super vulnerable with Rory, and so she needs to go up. Maddie and Louise have only just worked out who they are and they were dead wrong, so they're starting from the bottom. Luke, well, he did have a breakdown, but he also did apologise, so our king has to come down just a smidgen. There we are, another one in the bag. I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and indeed our community, even though it took me a decade to upload this one. Let's keep it going. See you next week for more shenanigans. Okay, bye. If you want me to review more Gilmore Girls, I'll do it for you. Subscribe.